talk to me, Dune, about some of the challenges, man, that you faced in trying to help your son break into the industry and just become a man.
Um, some of the challenges was peers, some of his peers, because when they see him going forward, started him off even since I think probably like 4, opened him they RV and boat detailing business. We had commercials on the radio, stuff like that. So the peers gonna try to come in and say y'all think y'all better than us, and then to prove you not acting better than us, hang out with us and mess up a little bit. So I keep close knit with the kids. So that's why we always out trying to have fun, family shit, and try to show them. Don't let them pull you into that. We doing what they can't do, and they wish they could. And then sometimes we try to invite some. Some people show up, some don't. But then most of the time they still try to pull them to the left, and it's like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So those was one of the biggest things. And then we even have relatives that don't live under the roof with us. So then they'll do the same thing. We cousins, right. we this, we that. Y'all act like this, y'all act, but we really, they know ain't no extras on the acting. They know I'm in and out of trouble to protect them and still get them where I need to go, because the life ain't given. It ain't easy. So I have to go through it, and at the same time shield them and say, I'm doing this and I'm gonna take this fall. Don't walk in my my footsteps. If you see me step on a landmine and you do it, I wasted my time. So I'm a sacrifice. I might take some losses, but at the same time, I want y'all to learn from it and teach from it. And and he been doing it. We got a few that talk it, but he really walk it. And it's like cool. So then even wifey was saying, when he get in trouble, cut his music off. Just cut it off. I'm like, okay, if I cut it off, I ain't saying okay, I'm gonna do it, but I'm just saying, okay, let's make some sense out of what you're talking about. I cut the music off. What are you finna do? At 15 now, you feel what I'm saying? At the time, he 15, 16, when she said cut it off, 15, 16. I cut his music off. Then what he gonna do? Get out there in the streets? He finna go try to play football? He already broke his ankle. He got a knack, he got a talent for this. He grew up in this. I said, why not just discipline him and make him go harder in the music, get his mind more in the music, less in the streets, and then he gonna go harder and better. But you saying cut it off. Do you have a fallback plan after the cutoff? Or he just gonna lose like everybody else? And that was basically her journey, because she come from a background like that. So we had to go through that struggle, that was the hard part. And sometime her and him play. She'll get serious and say, I'm gonna have your daddy beat the fuck out of you and whoop-de-whoop. So I'm like, hold on, I ain't gonna do shit. I'm gonna talk to my son. And she was like, nah, I ain't gonna fuck him up, and shit like that. And he in there listening, and every time we have talks, we have real family talks. Something wrong, instead of saying me and her talk, and then he don't get to hear, and one of the other kids, we let everybody, we gonna do these family talks and see how they feel. But that woman side sometimes is being heard stronger and more at times. She
Yeah,
tell them,
it's wisdom. It's wisdom in knowing, not all kids you gotta beat, you gotta hit. Some kids you can talk to.
Yeah.
And it's wisdom and knowing, when to do both, because even the Bible says spare the rod, spoil the child.
That part.
But if you can talk to your child and get through to him, isn't that the best way? Is it communication what we want to teach our children to use when handling conflict?
Yes. And that's what I was trying to teach her and teach the kids at the same time. But she was just like, she's not into all that,
So let me ask you this.
The word and the wisdom,
mm-hmm.
Her words be heard more on the negative side. And I say you can use that same power that you're using to corrupt to, cure, heal, and make stronger. But she didn't have it in her. So that was the biggest thing we was just going through. And it was just recently, so we're here now. You see what I'm saying? Still going forward. They not, because she played her hand, didn't work right. They took the L, and we still going on with the journey.
Right. And we gonna get all into that, man. We got this is just part one. This is just the journey, right? But it doesn't stop, man. We got to get into the relate. You know what this channel is about, man. Is we want to equip young men like Keelan Don, like 5-star, right? We want to equip you with the tools so you can handle not just everyday life, but also these women. You got to you got to understand the difference between a fun time and a good time. You got to know the difference. You got to know who's temporary and who's permanent, right? And you got to know who's for you and who's against you. All those things you got to know